Hey guys, so in the last two videos, we looked at how to create equations using Zymbolic. Now, in this video, I want to show you a couple extra tricks that you can use to make writing equations even faster and easier. So go ahead and open up Zymbolic and then let's jump right into it. Okay, so first I want to tell you about a way that you can very quickly and easily create Greek letters. Now, because Greek letters are so common, you might get tired of having to constantly rewrite the full word of the Greek letter in order to create the Greek letter. Like instead of needing to write out the full name of alpha, there actually is a much faster way that you can create Greek letters. So for any Greek letter that is longer than 2 characters long, instead of writing out the full word, you can just go ahead and type / and then the first letter of that Greek letter. /A to create an alpha, /B to create a beta, /Z to create a zeta, and so on and so forth. Now there are a couple cases where you need to type out the first 2 letters of the Greek letter to create that Greek letter. So OM creates omega, and there are a couple of cases like that. But in general, this I found this tends to be much faster for my particular use cases. Now, just on the topic of Greek letters, there are actually 2 other slightly I guess abusive shortcuts, you might call them, for creating Greek letters. I found that the lowercase omega kind of looks like a W to me, so you can type /W to create a lowercase omega, and likewise capital sigma kind of looks like a capital E to me, and so instead of having to type out sigma, you can type out /E, and that creates a capital sigma. Okay, so next up I want to talk to you about some shortcuts that you can use to create dot modifiers that I found are the dot modifiers that I use most frequently. So for example, instead of needing to type out .vec in order to create a vector, like that, instead I can just type .vc and that does the exact same thing. Likewise, a.ht creates a hat instead of needing to type out .hat. And probably the most useful one is the underline shortcut. Instead of needing to type out the full word for underline, you can just type UL, and then that immediately creates the underline. Okay, so next up, I want to tell you about copy and paste. Now, this isn't really a trick. I just want to make sure that I mention this at least once during the tutorial series. So in Zymbolic, and this is one of the most powerful features of Zymbolic, but in Zymbolic, you can actually copy and paste directly on equations. So here I can go ahead and drag and select over an aspect of an equation that I want to highlight, and I can press Command C to copy, and then I can just go ahead and press Command V to paste that particular form of equation. And this is incredibly simple, but still very powerful, and something that I found isn't really well covered in other text editors. So I just want to be sure that you knew about that because, again, it is incredibly powerful. Now, the last thing I want to tell you about is a way to create superscripts that I found to be kind of easier than using a caret. I kind of found using a caret to be kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying to have to reach my index finger all the way up there. It kind of breaks my typing flow. And so instead, all you have to do is type the symbol that you want to do, and then a little space, and then type out up, UP. And that does the exact same thing as typing out a caret. It basically just puts you in the superscript environment, and that just allows you to more easily work with superscripts. You're gonna have to use your own judgment about whether or not this is actually easier for you. I found it's personally easier for me, and again, you'll just have to figure out which method is better for you. Okay, so these are just a couple of methods and a couple of features that I found are super useful for getting you to create equations even that much faster. In the next video, we're going to be looking at snippets, which, as I mentioned in the last video, are probably the most powerful feature of Zymbolic for easily creating equations, and especially creating equations that are somewhat repetitive. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.